Welcome to another broadcast of the live streaming show, Collectors Hangout. This episode, we are going to be talking with the Dark Dagger, aka Alexander Williams. Alex actually is hailing from Canada, and just like the past cosplayer that we had, Leslie, who was also in Canada. So for some reason, I'm getting a lot of interest in cosplayers from Canada. So if you're interested in coming on the show, kind of like Alexander and Leslie in the past, let us know by going to collectorshangout.tv and comment in, of course, this episode's comment section. And of course, we'll be able to bring you on. Now, if you're joining us live today, you can also join the conversation with Alex and myself if you go to collectorshangout.tv/live. There you'll find a little chat box that you can sign in through either Facebook, Twitter. I think you can even sign in through Google+. And you can, of course, join us and ask questions. And if your question is cool enough, we'll broadcast it on the air. So, Alex, thank you so much for joining us here in Collectors Hangout. And
thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
So what I wanted to do is get right into your love for cosplay, your love for everything geeky, nerdy. You had sent me some pictures, and we'll share those here in a little bit. But give myself, since you and I have had very little interaction, except for via email and briefly to just do a test of Google Hangouts a couple of days ago. Give me and our audience some background on you as a cosplayer and every love of comics.
Well, you see, it all started when I was about, I would say, either 6 or 5 years old. I've had a very interest in superheroes, like Batman, Superman, like the whole Marvel, DC superheroes, like everything. Like I'm a huge fan, mostly for the Marvel superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Started at grade 1, I believe. Yeah, I was dressed as one of the Simpsons superheroes, Radioactive Man. It was actually pretty cool. Yeah. I got a little help from my mother. She helped make the costume. And yeah, it was pretty great. Like everything, like the red fabric, everything. It was pretty good. And then from
let me stop you really quickly right there. So did you do that dress up as like were you already at that point beginning to go to comic conventions, or was that for like Halloween? What was the occasion for getting dressed up like that? Just to dress up as a kid?
It was actually just for Halloween. But then I wanted to go to a comic book convention, like I believe it was last year, but seeing as I didn't have any cash, I figured I go to this year's Comic-Con, and it was pretty great, to tell you the truth.
Okay, so you really didn't get to start going to comic conventions until as a young adult. So as a kid, you really loved comics, you really loved superheroes.
Yes,
you get dressed up and everything. But it was mainly around, it sounds like, Halloween.
Yeah. And then some superheroes I couldn't think of one, so I just made some up on the spot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you had your mom had helped you, when you were about 5 or 6 with the superhero from The Simpsons.
Yes.
And then how did the passion for superheroes keep on evolving to where you are right now?
Like, it evolved because, like, as I said, I did have a love for I had a thing for superheroes, right? So then I figured, in my mind, I said to myself, like someday I may want to dress up as an actual be an actual real life superhero, because like crime rate in all over the world is going up, like way up, and and then I figured, if I get some training done, for sure I'd be like one of the world's greatest superheroes of all time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I figured, after watching Kick-Ass 1 and 2, like, it got me thinking. Like, after seeing Hit Girl fight, like, at a very young age, I was like, this girl is legit, like, better than Batman and Robin put together. Like, it got me, like, seriously in shock. Like, you can never see a little girl fight like a hardcore superhero ever.
Yeah, it's not very often that you see that in the movies or in comic books, and it was refreshing to see that, and I think hopefully it inspired, you know, girls of all ages, and, you know, to go into, you know, either the police force or military, or, you know, doing something to make the world a better place.
Yeah, definitely.
So with the other costumes that you made as a kid, as you were growing up, you had mentioned,
Actually,
obviously,
some costumes were store bought. Like, it started at kindergarten. I was Superman. Like, I had the onesie and the red cape. It was just like, yeah. And then, as I said, Radioactive Man for grade 1. And grade 2, I was just being Super Alex. Like, I had a helmet, like, I believe it was a Darth Vader suit my mom bought me. Right, a Darth Vader suit. And then I just added a red cape on, and that's how it happened. And then grade 3, I was Stripe Man. Grade 4, I believe.
Stripe Man, is that something that you came up with, or is
it was something I came up with. Definitely.
Okay.
And then grade 4, I did believe I go as Robin. I know he's not a superhero, but, like, it's pretty cool. Like, I really got like a red shirt with black sleeves, so I figured that'd be like the second Robin's costume. So I went with that. Got a cape and a yellow fabric to make the cape, and a mask, definitely. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Very nice. And then when you were like, let's go back to Stripe Man. So how did you come up with that? And I would love, I mean, if your mom has pictures of you in these early costumes, I would love to post those on, of course, our site, if that's something that you and your family are open to. But seeing you know where you had come from in terms of your costumes, and where you have developed them to what we're going to be showing here shortly, I think would be really cool for our audience. Do you guys have pictures?
I think I have the picture of me dressed as Superman. I don't know where exactly, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
But Stripe Man, it did come to me while I was watching Blue's Clues with my little cousins. We both happen to have a thing for that. I actually kind of like that show.
Yeah.
And so I figured, you know, if I couldn't think of any other superhero I wanted to go, I figured, why not go as Stripe Man, but with my own striped shirt I had. Yeah. And then I added a red fabric to make a cape and a mask, and then that's how Stripe Man was born.
Didn't Steve on Blue's Clues, didn't he wear a shirt that had stripes on it?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That was him.
That's neat. So after Robin, that would have, if you were talking like years here, that would have been, you were around 9, 10 at that point?
9, yes, I believe so.
Okay. So from the time that you were 9 to obviously where you are now as a young man, did you have kind of a dark age where you didn't do too many costumes, or how did that keep on evolving?
Oh no, I still did do my costumes. For me, I felt like, you know, when I was, I think, either 14 or 15, I figured I didn't know what to wear for Halloween, so I just went in some of my clothes, got like some poked out 3D glasses, just went as a simple nerd.
Yeah. Nice. And how old are you now?
I am 22 years old.
22. Okay, awesome. So with you had mentioned that you had been really inspired as of, well, late, I should say, within the past couple of years by watching Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
What did you do to start the process of developing the Dark Dagger, and what does the Dark Dagger stand for you, and what's the message that you're trying to bring out and share with everyone?
I believe it started when I was at a party with some friends. It was a house party,
Mm-hmm.
right? I was talking to this beautiful lady I hooked up with. Yeah, we still good friends though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a couple drinks. We didn't have too much. We just started, dancing, floating it up, and then after a game of 7 Minutes in Heaven, we just hooked up, and then we were like happy hooked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that's how I got the nickname as Dark Dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, Dark Dagger definitely stands for justice, integrity, and you know, and definitely some more justice, because like it also strikes the heart fear into criminals that try to do some wrong, a whole lot of wrong, and definitely um yeah, it just really put them in a good shock. And I figured that'd be a good name for a superhero, because like it definitely has a hardcore ring to it.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely for a message, I would say like always remember that the villain can't always win. There's always a way to defeat the inevitable.
Yeah, and let me go ahead and share a picture of you as a Dark Dagger here.
Yes.
You should see this, and this was again from one of the recent conventions that you had gone to.
Yeah, there was just like a cosplay hangout at Hyde Park. It was in May, I believe. Yeah, May.
And you're obviously grabbing the lapel of
The penguin.
the penguin. Okay.
Yeah.
So the way that you came, you had developed this costume. Obviously, you have a cape, and it looks like you took a lot of ideas from, again, Kick-Ass, where the superheroes obviously pull together what most people would think is just like common, like protective gear, and make it
Yes.
into their actual uniform. So how did you pick the pieces that you wanted for your costume, for your outfit?
Well, first, last year on Halloween, we did go with the classical skin tight mask and cape. And then about somewhere in the new year, before Comic-Con came up, I said to myself, I said to my friend Tristan, because he helped me with the suit. Shout out to my friend Tristan. I was like, I feel the suit needs to be upgraded, because superheroes nowadays, they're wearing like body armor and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like to protect themselves. And I figured it'd be like a good upgrade for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, he said he'd order the suit online. I had to pay him to buy the suit. It was really worth it though, because it made a legit body armor for a superhero like myself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I said, this actually looks good. I tried it on with the whole costume. There's just some knee pads missing, but it's all good though. It actually made it look legit.
Yeah, and it definitely seems like the body armor adds a touch of aggression to it, where you mean business.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the backstory, like, have you gone into the like I was into role playing games when I was younger. Not so much with Dungeons and Dragons, but in the area of like Middle Earth role playing, and then also for BattleTech and Mech Warrior when that was still a tabletop game, a little bit before your time. But when I was into it, I would get into like really developing the characters and their backstory. So have you developed a backstory for the Dark Dagger, and how that plays into your day-to-day life?
I'm still thinking of some good backstories for the Dark Dagger, definitely. Which I'm actually, to tell you the truth, we're actually thinking of working on a comic book for it, definitely. Like, you know how superheroes have their own comic books. Well, yeah. And also, yeah, I was talking with my boys down at work. She said, Alice, we can use Dark Dagger as a children's entertainment party, because kids nowadays, they're always hiring like locals to play superheroes, cartoon characters, and all that. So definitely, I'm working on that with some friends of mine. They're trying to help me out. And yeah, so that's how it is.
Nice. So what backstory have you developed so far? Like, what are the ideas that you're throwing around?
I'm thinking like a good, like, sad backstory, like, say, the shooting of his dear grandmother, because, like, with grandsons and grandmas, they have like a close relationship and all that, definitely. Yeah, and I have a close relationship with mine, definitely.
Yeah.
So I figured, like, what with dying grandma, like, it could be like a very, very sad story where he's like, okay, because the police aren't doing anything, I have to take matters into my own hands and find out who this perp is. And then I figured, if I can't do it, like, just as me, like, I gotta wear like some sort of body armor to protect myself. So definitely, I went to make a superhero mask, a cape, and a suit. And definitely, I don't want to get too much because I don't want to give all the weight.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. Well, with the where you're going with the story and what you're trying to do, how do you think that's played into like the collecting that you've done in the past with comic books, reading comics? Obviously, you were inspired by Kick-Ass and the Marvel universe. What have been some of your favorite comic book characters, and movies that have come out recently?
Favorite movies, definitely, I will have to. The Marvel movies, definitely, I have to say, Captain America. We watched Captain America 3: Civil War. And I got to tell you, when I found out that they got someone to play Spider-Man and he's making his appearance, I literally geeked out, to tell you the truth. I was like, oh my gosh, it's about time they finally added Spider-Man into a Marvel movie, because, like, what with the cartoon Spider-Man out, I figured they have to pull it out. They have to pull the movie out sometime. So there's like a little sneak peek for us to see the new Spider-Man and how it is. Definitely. Another favorite Marvel movie, I have to.
Iron Man.
I would say Iron Man, but Avengers: Age of Ultron really has me going, because they added Magneto's kids, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, which, by the way, was the Quicksilver guy. He started out from Kick-Ass all the way to the Marvel world. And honestly, the moment I found out it was him, to tell you the truth, I didn't realize it was him at first. But then when I saw the movie,
I didn't make that correlation.
Yeah, when I saw the movie, I said, this has to be the guy from Kick-Ass, because it looks sort of like him, but like I didn't recognize him until he had the stash. And then I said, oh my gosh, that's really Aaron from Kick-Ass. Definitely. Nice. He was actually my favorite character, to tell you the truth. It was really sad to see him like take a whole lot of bullets though at the end when he was saving Hawkeye.
I haven't seen Kick-Ass in so long, so I don't remember that.
Yeah. I was recently at Indigo. I saw the Kick-Ass comic books there. 1 and 3. I wanted to read. I didn't get a chance to read 3. I only got to see half of the first Kick-Ass comic book, and it kind of had a similarity to the movie. Just some things were missing out, though. Yeah.
When you're actually enjoying comics, books, and also the movies, do you have a are you one of the diehard fans where you would prefer to see the movies mimic the comic books more, or do you like how Marvel and DC and the screenwriters take liberties, artistic liberties to develop or leave certain things out?
No, I'm definitely for artistic liberty. Like, you can't just mimic everything in the comic books. Like, sometimes you gotta, put a little mix up into it. Certain things like that.
What's your favorite comic book that you own or if you've read to date?
I'm going to have to say, I will have to go with Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
I am looking forward to that movie. I have not read the comics, but I'm very, very much looking forward to that movie. That comes out this summer, correct?
Yeah, I believe in August. I think August 5th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks very good, and it's good to see Will Smith coming back into doing something.
Yeah, it really
comic
is.
book wise. Mm-hmm. Now, with the comics that you enjoy, you had sent me a couple of pictures of some of the comic books that you own. Let me go to those really quickly. Or sorry, not these. These are the movies that you own. Let me switch over here. And again, for those of you that are, of course, listening to the podcast, you'll be able to see all of the pictures at collectorshangout.tv/ASAP. And if you are watching, you can join the conversation by going over to collectorshangout.tv/live and join in on the chat. And so right now, Alex, you should see the movies that you own, and
yes.
You had mentioned, of course, the Kick-Ass movies.
Yes.
And hold on just a second. Yep. And then you have, of course, Avenger and X-Men. So now I noticed that you have Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin.
Yes.
I noticed that the newest Batmans are missing. So did you like the reboot that happened with Christian Slater, or not Christian Slater, Christian? Wow, I'm totally blanking on his name.
You're talking about Batman versus Superman, right?
No, not Batman versus Superman. That obviously is the most
Christian
recent.
Bale?
Yes, Christian Bale. Thank you.
No, like he had his moments in the Batman franchise movie. Like there are certain parts that really actually there are certain things in the movie that really got to me. Like for instance, how they added Bane into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the old comics, I see him like with some sort of super Venom steroid serum. Like whenever he presses on his chest, he gets stronger. Like that's the one thing that really got to me the most. Like
they didn't do that.
Yeah,
because I don't remember that being in the movie.
Yeah, I never seen that in the movie, to tell you the truth.
Oh, so you haven't seen the latest Batman, or sorry, the latest Batman reboot that Christopher Nolan did?
Oh no, I've seen a couple of them.
Okay. Yeah, because there were 3, if I remember correctly. I know 2 definitely, but I thought there were 3, just like the others that you're of course looking at. So it sounds though that you're not as much of a fan of that Batman franchise as the ones that obviously that you own, obviously in your collection right now.
No, like don't get me wrong. Like I love the DC Batman personally. Like he's like one of my favorite heroes / vigilantes of all time. Like he shows that it don't gotta take powers to become a superhero. You just gotta use your tools, what's at hand, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, definitely.
But you're definitely more of a Marvel collector and have a passion for that.
Yes, definitely Marvel. I actually grew up watching some Marvel movies with my mother. We both got to see the first X-Men movie in 2000, I believe. It really gave me quite a little jump as a kid. Like
yeah. So do you have your mom to thank for much of the introduction into the comic book universe?
Yeah, definitely. My mom really did put me out there in the comic universe. It was really, I actually kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah. Something.
It's something we actually share, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Well, if she wants to come on camera and talk about what she likes about comic books and everything, she's welcome to join us.
Oh yeah. Oh, you don't know. Oh yeah. She actually wishes she could, but she's not really that interested. She just wants me to do my thing.
All right. Cool. So with what you're trying to do, again, going back to the Dark Dagger, I really like how you have this. You came up with obviously this character by yourself. The name obviously was inspired by this girl that you met at the party.
Yeah.
How did it stick though? Like what made that stick amongst your friends with you?
I guess like back then I've always had like some luck with the ladies and all, so that's what the guys called me. So said, "Hey, Dark Dagger always gets the girls." So it felt like it was a good superhero name, so I wanted to stick with it. So yeah, that's how Dark Dagger became. And a friend of mine actually made this T-shirt with my logo on it.
Oh yeah, tilt the camera down a little bit. We can see it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and that was the logo that you had that we had posted up on Instagram.
Yes.
Very nice. Did you come up with the logo originally?
No, well, yeah, I wanted to make it look similar to the Daredevil, but yeah, we want to try it with a different font. So yeah, my boy Tristan, he said, "Alex, let me help you. Let me do the logo. I know we can make it like in a different font, something like that." So yeah, that's how it went down.
Nice. Very cool. With the way that you have gone about collecting comic books and movies, and the fact that you're focused mainly on Marvel, you had mentioned that Batman, the Avengers. What are some characteristics of some of your key superheroes that you like? I mean, you had mentioned obviously Justice, but there's a lot of carryover amongst the characteristics with a lot of course, characters, but there are ones that really stand out. What are those to you?
Okay, as Captain America said, like everyone has the freedom of their own. The best hands are still their very own. So Captain America is always a man of justice in the American way, and he always comes up with like these battle plans when it comes to fighting bad guys. And so that's what I kind of like in a superhero. Like you can't just always go attacking people without having a battle strategy. That's how I look at it as.
Mm-hmm.
And as Batman has the title World's Greatest Detective, like you always got to look for some clues into what is going down, what battle, what evil plans his enemies have, and so that's how I'm looking at it as.
So with the message that again you're trying to get out to kids and to other young adults, as the Dark Dagger, evolves, are you trying to, make more of an impact within? You're actually in Toronto, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you trying to make a more of an impact amongst certain areas of Toronto? Were you inspired specifically for this character to go into certain neighborhoods and to revitalize justice and respect and things within your community, or is this something that you're trying to have a greater impact outside of just Toronto?
I want to say have a greater impact the inside of Toronto and the outside.
Mm-hmm. How are you doing that right now?
Well, right now I'm thinking of doing some training sessions on karate type and all that, and learning parkour.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, that's how I can't just not be going on the streets not ready to be able to fight. Like I got to be like on top of my game, like when it comes to thugs, gangsters trying to gain up on me,
Mm-hmm.
like in a certain type of way.
Down here in the States, like the anti-bullying, within schools is a big initiative, and
Yes.
even the government has gotten involved in it. Is that something that you're also trying to help with up in your area as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like you should be like you go to school to learn and make friends, not to become like a bully, like have a name of your own, like the world's meanest kid. Like you can't, like that's not supposed to even be. Like you come to school and make friends, be kind, be treated the way you want to be treated, and all certain things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. With your own childhood and with being in school, is that something, I mean, did you, and I know we're getting personal here, and feel free to share as much or as little as you like, but did you were you were you bullied yourself as a kid, and did you have to stand up against bullies that you saw, not only against yourself, but bullies that you saw hurting other kids?
To tell you the truth, not really that much. Really, no, not much.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So I mean, sometimes you oftentimes, like you had seen, of course, in superhero movies, you actually have individuals that have gone through something themselves that inspire, obviously, the story of where they go through. So I'm just trying to find out, like, was it just the stories of course, comic book characters that inspired this, or was it something outside of like real life that had happened within your life that inspired you to go on?
No, definitely in the comic books that gave me an inspiration. It really did.
Cool. All right, and speaking of comic books, let me go ahead and share the screen of the comics that you had, of course, sent me.
All right.
So these are the comic books that you had sent, and you had, of course, mentioned Suicide Squad, which is, of course, on the right. So how did these come into your collection, and why did you choose these specific ones to add to your collection?
It started, I believe, a month ago in May. I heard this comic book store called the Silver Snail they were giving away some free comics, and actually got the memo at Collectors Expo. Again, I believe it was in either April or May. The guy handed me a flyer that said get your free comics, and I said, I had to jump on it because I do love comic books. And I said I want to go get his before anyone else does. So I wanted to say, you know what, I'm gonna go get those free comics. I gotta have them.
And with the comics that you got, all of these were free, or did you have to some of them too?
One was I had to buy. The other comics, they were free.
Nice. That was really nice. And I've heard of free comic book days. I haven't had a chance to participate in any of them myself. So that was nice that you were able to only pony up for one of them.
Yeah.
So when you're hanging out with your buddies, school friends, and of course from work, how do you all do you have friends that are coming up with obviously cosplay characters as well, or are they all helping to kind of band together to help you actually see the Dark Dagger come to fruition like you envision?
Definitely just friends from work. They're helping me out with the Dark Dagger, trying to bring it more up to date.
Awesome. So if people are trying to obviously connect with you, where's it best to find you on the internet, and of course with everything that you're trying to promote with the Dark Dagger?
I'm definitely thinking of trying to build a website for the Dark Dagger. I'm just getting some ideas flown. But yeah, you can catch the Dark Dagger on Instagram at Kate_Crusader. That's Crusader with the number 8.
Very cool. So Instagram is the best place to follow you.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And is there any message that you would like to send out to those that are, of course, watching or listening to this podcast?
Yeah, message definitely. Always, always do the right thing. Honesty is the very, very best policy, and you cannot let anybody tell you that cosplay isn't cool or you can't do that. Like, if you want to do you, then do you the best thing you can. Just do you.
And as you so eloquently are of course showing, I mean, the Dark Dagger is a creation that you have, of course, have made. It is something that you have into the actual core of your being, and that's really cool. So I like to also ask some kind of off the wall questions to get to know people better, and so our podcast listeners and viewers can also get to know you better as well. So when it comes to food, what are some of the top 3 foods that you enjoy? And I'll pose it this way. So say that you were going to be going on a mission to Mars. So your launch date is tomorrow. You have the option to, of course, have 3 earthbound meals before you leave. And they can be anything that you like. Home cooked meals, food from restaurants. But these are going to be the last 3 earthbound meals that you have before your trip. What would those be?
Salad, definitely. Caesar, preferably. What else?
A lot of protein.
Yeah, definitely a lot of protein. I definitely want to.
Vegetables.
Yeah, and some vegetables also. Like, I got to keep the
And grains, whole grains.
Yeah, and whole grain, because it's my body is a temple, and I got to do whatever I can to make it very healthy.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you like home cooked meals better, or do you enjoy like going out to some specific restaurants within the Toronto area?
To tell you the truth, I gotta go for both because if I wanted to come home and I didn't have anything else any ideas what to cook, I would choose to just go out to a restaurant and just have some delicious meal, try something new.
Nice, nice. With music, do you have a specific music artist that you enjoy as of late, and what's the latest song that gets you pumped up as you're strapping on your suit? What gets you pumped up?
It has to be one of Drake's songs from the new album. Definitely.
I'm sorry, repeat the artist name again.
Drake.
Drake. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Definitely.
Any song in particular that you love?
Definitely, it's the hit song "One Dance." It's a really good song. Like, it's a very pumped up song for me.
One Dance, very nice. Well, cool. And then the last question I like to ask is to find out, if there was somebody, one person that has inspired you, who is that person, and what would you like to say to them if they were watching this or listening to the podcast?
One person that inspires me. I would have to say Chris Evans, definitely. Because to be honest, he was a better actor as Captain America than the Human Torch. Definitely. And also my mother, of course. She does love me very much. And Chris Evans, I really hope you're watching this. If you are, please keep making more of those Marvel movies. Captain America, we love it. Definitely Team Captain America.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, awesome. Well, Alex, it's been a great pleasure having you, of course, on Collectors Hangout, and definitely hope to have you back. I know that we haven't even covered everything with your, being a sneakerhead and enjoying getting Jordans and everything like that. So hopefully we can, talk about that on some other point in time. But thanks so much for coming to Collectors Hangout and sitting down with us. And to all of you that, of course, have watched, definitely remember that Collectors Hangout is a listener, and we are supported by you, our listeners and viewers. So if you'd like what we're doing, and if you would like to join us again for watching us, you can go to collectorshangout.tv/ASAP to view this episode. And if you would like to support us, go to collectorshangout.tv/support. Until next time, thanks for watching, and happy collecting.
All right.